In the end, it's not about the session, it's about the feeling between the players and coach, to give them the confidence, to give them to feel well, but as well to do them better.
Attackier, attackier, fair. Geh auf ihn zu, geh auf ihn zu, geh auf ihn zu, geh auf ihn zu. Nach außen jetzt, ja, sehr gut.
How much do you think football and talent idea is about dealing with discomfort?
Of course, talent is important, the hard work is important, but I believe if you are not ready here, that everything else doesn't count.
And I don't know if you've seen the viral clips of Xabi Alonso with the passing, and I feel like that is a bit the same with him.
Wenn ich der Stürmer bin, komm ruhig hier hinten. Ich bin gespannt, was der Nico macht, wenn ich hinkomme. Der muss ab mit mir mit. Mitspieler, mehr Platz kreieren.
When you've been asked about your non-negotiables, about what you ask from others, it's always respect, discipline, no excuses. I'd like to start, I guess, how those principles were shaped in you.
I grew up like this. Of course, I took these things from my parents. Both of my parents, they leave Kosovo before the war, and they were struggling a lot. So for them to come to Switzerland without anything was a lot of struggling. But after this, they needed a lot of discipline, hard work, of course, to believe themselves as well. And this is what they give me through my career as well, but not just in a football part, but as well in my private life.
I listened to one of your interviews and you said that your father was pretty demanding of you, and he said that you've yet to have a good game. Is that true still?
Yeah, it's still the same. Nothing changed.
How do you find that?
Good, if I'm honest. I mean, it's a challenge for myself, yeah. That one day he will tell me that I had a good game. So this is my challenge, me against me. I mean, of course, he tell you good stuff as well. Don't misunderstand me, but he have always something to criticize, but in a good way. So to understand as well why he's criticizing myself, but because he knows about football as well. If someone criticizes me who never played before, who never coached before as well, it's maybe a different story, you know. But because he has this experience as well, he did both sides, playing and coaching. It's something else.
What do you think will be the similarities and differences between you and him as a coach then?
It will be not a big difference, I think, because he was a coach as well with a lot of discipline, respect, and hard work. I think that's why I use always these three words, because he took me very, very early as well in the dressing room. I saw a lot of things, how he was speaking, how he was coaching, on and off the pitch, you know. So that's why I think that is a, let's say, a plus point on my side, that I saw this very, very early already, you know.
You've played under some rather accomplished managers. You have Xabi Alonso now, obviously you had Arteta, you've had Lucien Favre, you had Unai Emery, you had Wenger who brought you to Arsenal. How have they shaped your understanding, evolved your understanding of football over the course of your career?
How I say it, Arsene Wenger was more a gentleman. When he told you something, when he was speaking with you, he was like a type of a military guy, you know. Listen to him and you know exactly what he wants. Unai was my first Spanish coach, totally different than to Arsene, much more discipline as well, much more tactical. And yeah, Arteta and Xabi, they are a little bit similar as well, Spanish coaches, where they see the football totally different than the other coaches, in my opinion. But you can learn a lot of things from both, or for all the coaches you have, you take all the little puzzle, and to try to put in myself. Of course, I want to be myself one day, but as well I will take some puzzle for them, for sure.
And when you've been high of praise with Arteta, obviously the tactical acumen is one of them, but you've talked about the touch, the feel, the smell. Is that something you think someone just has, just that little feel?
I think so. Of course, you can learn, you can coach about it, but in the end, you have to feel, you have to have it in your DNA. It's my opinion. I mean, Arteta, he knows both sides. He's been on the pitch, he's now outside the pitch. Xabi the same. And to learn from these coaches, because they know the both parts, I think give you much more credit. because you know how the player feels inside. You know the feeling of passing. You know the timing. You know the passing on the wrong foot or right foot, for example. So it's small details where I learned about it, and this is what I want to give my team as well.
Männer, kurz und mit 2 Sechser hier. Geh nicht so weit vor, bitte. Ich will, dass ihr näher zum Innenverteidiger seid als zu den Offensiven. Ja? Und macht euch ruhig ein bisschen auf, seitlich. Dieses näher kommen ist nur mal zurückzuspielen. Ab danach wieder aufmachen. Mein linker Fuß, auf, schauen, Stürmer, Dugi, abprallen und dann wieder Tiefe. Von den Sechsern möchte ich viel mehr Bewegung sehen, aber nicht die Richtung, sondern hier in der Mitte. Diese 3 Spieler hinten und 2 Sechser sind wichtig. Lass die vorne machen, was die wollen. Hier, Stabilität. Ball wollen. Ja? Auf geht's.
Mikel, for example, he has his philosophy and that's it. You know, this always change the side, the free man, let him jump, for example. Even to play always with back 4, never change a back 5, for example, or never change like a 4-4-2 with 2 proper strikers. So you had this 4-3-3 with 1 6, 2 8s. Xabi is a little bit different. I think that Xabi can play a back 4, but he can play as well a back 5. You know, but what he wants is always a 2 number 6, not running everywhere, but more of the time to keep the position. But I think that if you are a coach, you need your own philosophy, your own tactical, your own ideas. Of course, you can change always 1 or 2, but you can't change so many things about it, you know?
When you coach, do you have a set formation in mind? Do you have like in terms of their overall philosophy, is that pretty clear to you now, or do you think that will continue to evolve?
I like the formation 4-2-3-1. This is what I prefer. But I will be not surprised with myself if I will play a 5 in the back, like a 5-2-3 for example. But it depends which players you have. I mean, now with Leverkusen, the 5 in the back is amazing because you have Grimaldo and Frimpong. You have these guys that can run up and down. Is it similar like Juventus on the prime? You had Chiellini, Bonucci, you had another centre back, then you had the Lishan on the right, Alexander on the left. It was a perfect setup for them, you know?
Yeah.
But normally I prefer to play with 4 in the back. But yeah, you never know.
Now on your UEFA license, as you mentioned earlier, how would you compare yourself to when you started about 18 months ago?
It's a good question. 18 months ago, you was thinking about much more which session I do today, what I give to the team. But in the end, it's not about the session. It's about the feeling between the players and coach, to give them the confidence, to give them to feel well, but as well to do them better. Day by day, to improve, little by little. And I think this is the most important thing. And I have much more freedom, much more experience. I mean, everything in the beginning is difficult, but with the time, with the coaching, where I'm doing once a week, since I'm here in Germany, and yeah, it's getting always better and better.
Without going too far, but do you think there's a connection with how you think more consciously about the game and your recent performances?
Absolutely right. I mean, since I'm doing my coaching, I'm playing different as well. Maybe sounds weird, let's say that, but this is the reality and the truth. I see the football game different. I look much more far than I was looking before, and this helped me a lot.
Gut. Ball hier bitte einmal. Da ja. Männer, bitte vergesst eins nicht, das ist der Gegner. Der kann jetzt zwar nicht laufen, aber wenn er hier den Ball hat, ich komme mit dir. Komm mal auf ihn zu. Und perfektes Timing, weg, klatschen lassen und raus. Oder auch, nimm noch mal den Ball. Komm zu mir bitte. Du bist mein Gegner. Komm auf ihn zu. Jetzt zu mir. Klatschen und Tiefe. Aber Tiefe nach innen, Männer. In der Mitte ist das Tor, nicht nach außen. Ja? Auf geht's, weiter, komm.
I guess to a greater or lesser extent in life, we're faced with the predicament of walking away or staying put and working harder when faced with difficulty. I think what you've proven throughout your career is how well you've dealt with adversity, which I think is a lot easier said than done. How much do you think football and talent idea is about dealing with discomfort?
I mean, a lot of people, they are speaking about talent, they are speaking about football, but they forgot the mentality side, the other part of how difficult it is to be a professional footballer. Because I said it once and I will repeat it again. Not everything looks good from outside and is inside. It's a lot of hard work. You have still another part of private life, family, friends. You can't be this guy who you want really to be. It's dangerous to go to be like you want to be, let's say that. But yeah, it's so important to have this strong mentality as well. Of course, talent is important, the hard work is important, but I believe if you are not ready here, that everything else doesn't count.
As a coach, can you teach that aspect of it? Because obviously it is one of those where it's perhaps a bit of a learning by doing case scenario, but I've played with players who have been a lot more talented than myself. You've probably played with some players more talented than yourself that have fallen through because of that. How do you, I guess, hinder that happening?
It's a shame because I had players that was better than me, talented and maybe working better than me, but they was not ready to play under 50, 60,000 people. They was not ready to have this criticize himself if someone says something bad about you. And this is the gap between professional and the next step to be a professional guy. And this is what I want to give my team, that doesn't matter what happened, believe in yourself, work hard and stay strong. Because if you are on this point to be a professional, it's a small step to be on the high level. And this is what I want to give a message, not only my team, but as well to the new generation.
Hier sind wir in Überzahl. Einer kommt hier, du geh. Klatschen, diagonal rüber und da sind wir schon durch. Aber wenn du noch hier hinkommst, ist so einfach Vorrang. Also entweder kommst du nach innen, Außenverteidiger hoch oder Außenverteidiger innen und du außen. Aber es ist besser, wenn du außen stehst. Falls sie den Ball verlieren, ist der Verteidiger schon da. Ja? Probiert mal.
We're now back in the region where you first moved abroad as a 19-year-old. What hope or message would you think a 19-year-old Granit Xhaka could learn from a 31-year-old Granit Xhaka?
A lot of things. I was, of course, 19, first time away from my family, from my parents, from my brother. Of course, Germany and Switzerland, they have similar language, similar mentality, how they think, but still you are away. You are not at home. And this was my biggest problem in the beginning. I wanted too much. I was speaking much more than I was working. But this was the best experience I had in the beginning because I had my dad behind me. I wanted to leave myself, but my dad, he was always behind me and say, if you leave now, you will always leave. That's why I think 2019, when the misunderstanding between the fans and myself with Arsenal was a big point to stay there and to prove the people that I'm the right guy. And without doing mistakes, you can't learn. And I did a mistake with 19, but what happened in 2019 helped me a lot. What happened 2012.
And lastly, Johan Cruyff said something on the lines of he would stop coaching when he stopped dominating in training. And I don't know if you've seen the viral clips of Xabi Alonso with the passing, and I feel like that is a bit the same with him. Can we expect something similar from you, where we just see you threading those trademark lace passes?
I mean, Xabi was an unbelievable midfielder. He won everything, only the Europa League not, because he never played the Europa League. Yeah. But otherwise, he's an example of a new generation of coaching, I think. He's not only on the meeting and the tactical board, but he's showing himself a passing, for example, this ball where it was going everywhere in the social media. And of course, this type of different feeling when you are his player, because you can see what he means And to have someone like this, with this experience, with this personality, gives you a lot of confidence and just to do much more than you did before.
Männer, ich glaube, ihr habt dasselbe Gefühl wie ich auch. Jedes Mal, wenn wir ruhig gespielt haben, Spielaufbau ruhig, Seite zu Seite, waren wir immer besser. Sobald wir dieses Spiel, Ping-Pong-Spiel haben wollten, Ball gewinnen, sofort nach vorne, alles schön und gut. Aber ab und zu wieder ruhig mit dem Ball. Auch die Einwürfe, Breite von 2 fliegenden Spielern, geduldig in der Mitte. So Sachen sind sehr wichtig. Ich glaube, wir haben das am Anfang ein bisschen weniger gut gemacht, aber zum Schluss immer besser. Basic-Sachen, wo ich eigentlich auch jede Woche sage, wo sehr wichtig sind. Immer wieder dasselbe. Kommunikation viel mehr. Vor allem von den Leuten, die hier hinten spielen. Könnte zum Beispiel viel mehr reden. Ja? Dankeschön.